I feel you. You think the world is crushing on you because you have done all your best but are still asked to change your manuscript. There's no way I would change it, you think to yourself. This is my research and I know better about the results, not the reviewers, right? Some of the reviewers' comments may even seem unfair or harsh. After all, reviewers are humans, just like you and me, and are prone to mistakes and subjectivity. But more often, they are right. Here's why. The main reason is that the reviewers are usually selected from experts in their fields of study or from those with a good publication record, especially with that same journal or publisher. Therefore, they know the requirements and the quality standards for publishing in that journal very well. Besides, if any mistakes remain in your manuscript, their credibility as the reviewers of that article will be questioned, and they might not be selected for future reviews or even prospective paid contract works for that publisher. The reviewers have once been in your shoes, trying to publish their own first articles one day. They're aware of the sensitivities of the authors and the effects of reviewers' incorrect judgment on authors' manuscript. I believe that most reviewers try their best to be objective and only raise issues that need to be considered, even though they sometimes come across as harsh. If you feel overwhelmed with the number of unpleasant points that the reviewers have raised, put your manuscript aside for a few days and come to it only once you can manage your feelings better and are able to respond more professionally to their concerns. Remember that they have taken their time to read through your manuscript carefully and give you feedback. Your gratefulness reflected in your response language can go a long way in acknowledging their effort and reassuring them that your responses to their comments are only for improving your manuscript for publication. So always start your response letter with thankfulness. The next point is for you to reflect honestly on your work. Try to look at your work like an out-of-body experience, judging it from someone else's perspective and deciding if the reviewers really have good reasons for their concerns. If so, respectfully admit your mistakes and any shortcomings in your manuscript and let them know how you have changed or modified your text based on their comments. Don't give them the line numbers or ask them to check the changes on their own. It is your duty as the author to record all the changes you have made to the manuscript in the response letter before referring them to the exact place or line or page of the change. Keep in mind that this is usually your only chance to modify your manuscript, and you might not be given another opportunity if you fail to act according to reviewers' requirements. Neither the editor nor the reviewers would like to go back and forth with you and your arguments, so take your time and compose a thoughtful response letter and address every single point in a separate line or paragraph. After the opening part of the letter and stating my appreciation for the reviewer's valuable feedback, I usually quote each reviewer's comment or question using quotation marks and give my response on a separate line, like this example. It is important to clarify your points visually with an easy-to-read letter. It also shows that you have taken their feedback seriously and responded with care. However, that does not mean the reviewers cannot make mistakes. If you suspect that the reviewer has misunderstood any of your points in your article, you can address this by saying something along the line of, "I believe my wording of such and such has caused a misunderstanding about the nature of such and such, or about the meaning of such and such. I would like to take this opportunity to get my meaning across in a more effective way." Then continue to make your point and provide the evidence with citations if possible. If you agree with some of their points but not the others, always start with the agreed ones. Let them know that their comments on a specific matter have been very helpful in improving your manuscript. When addressing the issues you disagree with, always use a respectful tone and cite one or more evidence from previous scholars' findings or your own results to show why you think your argument is correct. Under no circumstances create any tension or use aggressive language, even when they are totally wrong about a specific issue. In rare cases, the author does not agree on a point with the reviewers even after both sides have presented their arguments. If that is the case for you, you will be able to discuss this issue with the editors, and if they see fit, they might ask a third reviewer to comment on that particular point. If all three reviewers have the same understanding, the editor will ask you to change your position. If you still have good reasons to disagree, your only option is to withdraw your manuscript and submit it elsewhere. In such a case, make sure you ask the editor not to forward your manuscript and the reviewer's comments to the next journal, so that you get another chance with new reviewers. If the reviewers have referred you to consult a specific work, make sure you read that work. If you think that work is relevant to your research, thank them for referring you to it and let them know that you have added that work to your literature review or the discussion of the results. And don't forget to add that work to your original manuscript's references section. In responding to the reviewers, keep your arguments brief. Bear in mind that they have limited time and that they have already read your article, so stay away from repeating what you've already mentioned in your article. You should treat this response letter as a standalone document, so it is important to fully cite any work you mention in this letter in a separate references section at the end of your letter. Do not assume that they know which work you're referring to, and do not refer the reviewers to the references section of your original manuscript. Finally, before resubmitting your manuscript, make sure you have correctly applied all the changes in all files, including the supplementary files. Write a fresh cover letter to the editor and explain that you have addressed all the points raised by the reviewers in the response letter, and that you will be able to address any further concerns that the reviewers or editors may have.